So, this is what it's come down to. Pretty much. Victor just explains everything. Everything can be summed up by this picture. Literally. I mean, the game has been in early access for the longest time now. And, I mean, look. I mean, years ago, 2014, it was announced as free to play. I know this is an article, whatever, but that's not the point. The point is, they themselves said it was going to be free to play. Well, that's not the case anymore. It's evolved to two games. Or, as the picture said, two transactions for the same amount of content. And it's on sale right now, it says, for $5 less. So pretty much, they're trying to say, either you give me money now, or we're going to charge you pretty much more than triple the price of what it is right now. Well, not more than triple. More than double, pretty much. But still, it's just sad that developers are going down this route with early access. And we've seen this in so many different cases as it is. You know, it's like these early access games, they start off and they seem like it's going to be something good. But when it comes down to this point where they have their money, they can do whatever they want. And they can even abandon the project, like one person I heard had completely dropped their project after they got money. They went out and they spent all of that money that was supposed to be a budget on booze and women of the night, pretty much. It's sad. It really is. A lot of these games have such a huge amount of potential, and for it to just get wasted is just sad. I mean, here, they're not dropping it, and that's not the point. The point is that if you don't already own this on Steam, then if you don't get it now, then, you know, then screw you. You have to pay more for the same amount of content. Because they just want your money. That's all they want. It was obvious from the start, to be honest. But now it's just more apparent, as with all the other early access games. And, I mean, just look at this. Where is it? They even have a Q&A through all of this. And this right here, this line right here, King of the Kill, I'm sorry, will be coming out of early access and will launch on PC, PS4, Xbox One in summers 2016. When it was supposed to be the entire game, only half the game is going to come out, and instead of it being free, no, you're going to have to pay for half of the content of the original game that should have been free in the first place. You see, there's a difference between how H1Z1 is doing it compared to how, let's say, Overwatch was supposedly... People think that it was supposed to be going free to play. I think they might have mentioned free to play at one point. But the thing is, they didn't say they were doing one thing or another. They said themselves they're trying to figure out what they're going to do to... I'm sorry. They were trying to figure out which business model they were going to go after and they decided on buy to play. And I am not against buy to play. I'm against people saying they're going to do one thing with a game and having it said all the way up until release, and then near release they change their plan. That is a big issue. If it was really early on, like early on with the early access and everything around that time, they would have stated, well, we're going to change our business plan, our business model. That would have been fine with me. But here, people wait. Ever since this game was announced way back in 2014, here we are nearly 2 years later, and they say that this game is going to be, yeah, right here. Just Survive and King of the Kill will become free-to-play games after they come out of early access. At this time, we do not have any plans to make either one free. After they announced it all the way back, almost 2 years ago, that it was going to be free. That's just really, really money-hungry developers. And it disappoints me. And it's like, I mean, it really is no surprise that they sold this company that eventually became Daybreak. I mean, they've been becoming more and more money hungry as time goes on. And you can see it in just DC Universe Online. That game right there, I mean, if you've seen the way that DC Universe is right now with its DLC, like, I don't know if how long you've been away from the game or if you've played it all, but I mean, not even the amount of the DLC that they are, or well, the amount of content that is not able to be played for the free to play people, like, I'm sorry, I'm getting this all mixed up, but it's not the amount of DLC that the game has. The game is free, so it makes sense that they have to make money somehow. But the thing that is not noted here, like you see all these, episodes and everything, all of these gives you higher and higher tier weapons and armor. And while that's great, yeah, that makes sense, I guess. But the thing is, it ruins the experience for the free-to-play players. Because if you were to jump into a raid right now, your combat rating at most could probably go up to, like, the 70s. But right now, the combat rating is, like, up to, let's say, around tier 7. Like, I've seen people have their combat rating at 150. And that actually means a lot. I've seen people go in and one-hit kill bosses left and right. Just go in as a free-to-player right now, and if you get to the end of the game, pretty much the only thing that you can do, that you can actually match up to these other people, is player versus player, PvP. And I mean, raids used to be, I think raids used to be combat rating restricted, that I can't remember too well, but that's what I remember. But now that restriction is gone, or maybe it hasn't been applied, because I can't remember if it used to have one. So now, if you're a free-to-player and you get to the end of the game, then there's no point in doing the raids, because that's completely screwed over by people that paid money. And Same here. It is completely the same here. If you expected to be able to, go through this game and play it for free like they promised, that's not going to happen because they're going to charge you. Well, they're going to actually charge you, is the one thing. And I could have even accepted that, to be honest. But instead, they're going to charge you $20 each for $20 for half of the game and then $20 for the other half of the game of what you should have already gotten for free or for just $20, you know? It's ridiculous, and I think that people should really just not buy H1Z1 because there is no point. And it has a direction that it's going compared to DayZ, but I'd rather play DayZ than play this because why should we give in to developers like Daybreak when all they're trying to do is just take your money when they already announced that it was going to be free? Like, out of nowhere, just take your money. And I feel bad for the PlayStation 4 players because they, well, not only the PlayStation 4 players, I'm sorry, the console players, because I'm sure that this will come to Xbox One now that, Daybreak is no longer tied to Sony. It's its own thing. So now it could probably come over to Xbox as well. And they aren't going to get this sale for $15. When it comes to the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, it is going to be $20. And not even for... But not even both of them are coming at the same time. It's going to be the King of the Kill thing that is just a multiplayer... Well, a multiplayer standalone of it now, because that's what it is. It used to be just, a multiplayer straight-up fighting thing. I've seen a little bit of gameplay. It's like, like this. Obviously, it's mainly just about shooting them up and running around and killing people, I guess. And I'm sure most of us have been mainly interested in the survival aspect of these open world zombie survivals, It's not all about just running around and killing people, It's just really a shame on these developers for pulling such, dirty tricks, and there's not much else to really say about it.